can start by first having you introduce yourself
Okay.
in whichever way you want, who you are, and give a little bit of background on your story.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Ebenezer Ahama. I'm a serial entrepreneur. We were just talking about how I hate that title so much just because everyone's an entrepreneur, and so it's kind of watered down the essence of the word. But my journey started about 10 years ago with me building my first startup at 15, skipping through school in terms of like skipping senior year because I just wanted to hit the ground running. And so I started my venture at 15, but then I graduated high school at 16 to make it a full-time thing, and I've never looked back since. So since then, I've had tons and tons of failed ventures, a few wins here and there, and today I bought into a company called HBS. Initially, it was a cleaning company, and when I joined the company, I changed the name from Hermes Clean to HBS, just kind of expanding the view on there from just cleaning to building services as a whole. And while doing that, I found myself with some additional time. So
Typical entrepreneurial.
yeah, I found myself feeling a little bored. So I started a venture with my wife called InWorks Health, and we make fiber supplements. And that's been a exciting journey as well over the last couple of months, considering the rate of growth that we've had. But outside of that, like, I'm always building stuff on the side. Like I have like 4 or 5 other ideas that I have like MVPs of just sitting on the side, ready to be executed at any given moment. I was just on a call with one of my other friends, Bradley. I think you might have met him. Yeah. And I'm like pitching him this thing that I vibe coded for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I love building stuff. Like I love building stuff, the feeling of building something, and I'm absolutely a journey guy, right? Some people are destination kind of people. I'm all about the journey. Like I love building. So if I could just change my name to just being a builder, I would. You know,
From entrepreneur to builder, that's a better way of putting it.
Absolutely.
So did you go to college?
Well, yes, technically. So when I skipped senior year of high school, my understanding was like, no one really explained like college to me. So I thought, okay, college, I can go to college and just learn exactly what I want to learn and get out, or like learn exactly what I want to learn and apply it immediately. Then I got to the enrollment office. I'm like, yeah, so I want to double major in business and engineering. They're like, sure, but like, you have prereqs for the first couple of years. And so you won't actually go to these classes until your 3rd and 4th. So that's when I was disappointed. And so I went along with it for as long as I could. And then after 2 months, I joined the entrepreneurship club, and I met one person there who introduced me to someone else. And I never stepped foot back into college. I was there for like 1 semester, and that was it.
You have this trend that I see amongst really good entrepreneurs. For example, I didn't go to, similar to you, where I kind of went to college, and then you're kind of there, you're kind of not, right? But do you feel like now, because there's so many entrepreneurs out there, that someone might need to go to college to be an entrepreneur? Is that not really needed anymore because of how much access we have to tools like AI, where you can literally build an entire platform without having much knowledge about coding?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think that college, like if I were to speak to my older self and I have children, like it's like, hey, what do you think about college? I'd be like, if you want to go to college, I would go strictly for social reasons, right? If there is a bone in me that I wish that I went to college, it's that I went to a more prestige university like Stanford, or like an actual major school where I could network like crazy, like build a nice Rolodex of people that I can, build with potentially, raise money from, like just expanding my network from that aspect. But other than that, in terms of actual educational content, I mean, we live in such a crazy world where everything is online. Everything that I've ever built, everything that I've ever learned has came from either a book, a YouTube video, or a podcast.
So you mentioned earlier that you started a business with your wife.
Yeah.
And your relationship with your wife is actually something that I look at, and I'm like, this is for me a model relationship between like someone who's an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
someone who has a wife, right? So how did you guys meet?
We actually met on Hinge.
Really, Hinge.
Bro, I was
What are the percentage of finding?
look, I was the kind of person that was like, I'm not like, online dating is for losers. Like, but then I found myself not going out at all, like not like meeting anyone because I'm just working all the time. Like I'm in my office from like 8 a.m. to like 11 p.m., 12 p.m. And so it's like, all right, like time's going on. Like I gotta like at least start meeting people, going on dates and stuff. So before I met her, I mean, I was in another relationship. I broke up with that person, and then I got back on Hinge. And when we met, I actually messaged her, and she ghosted me for 2 weeks. Well, we chatted for a little bit, and then she ghosted me for 2 weeks. And then one day I randomly get a text, and she's like, "Hi, my name's Savannah. You know, we connected on Hinge, but I've been busy, blah blah blah." I was like, "Savannah? What the hell's Savannah?" Savannah. Oh, okay, yeah, that girl that ignored me. But we started chatting and just talking back and forth, and I knew immediately that she was my wife. In fact, I knew she was my wife before she got back to me. I was just waiting for her.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Like I genuinely like knew that this person was.
How did you know?
The crazy thing is, okay, so in my last relationship before her, like the person that I was with wasn't a very kind person. Like that's like she was very unkind. Like just kind of generally across a variety of aspects. And so her profile went on Hinge. She was like, she really appreciates kind people, and like she used the term kind, which was like a term that I had like labeled that I would never be with somebody who's unkind again. And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, like this person this is like exactly what I'm looking for. At the time, I was like, so what I did is I actually, when I found her profile, I cut everyone off, like all the girls that I was talking to, that I was interviewing, I cut them all off.
That I was interviewing?
Yeah, that I was interviewing. I cut them all off, and I was like, yeah, this is the person for me. And when we started talking and me understanding her personality and who she was, I just doubled down. So it was a very, very easy decision to make. A couple months later, I asked her to be my girlfriend. Roughly about a year later, I proposed to her. And then like a few months after the proposal, about 4, 5, 6 months, I think, we got married in October of last year.
And something that a lot of entrepreneurs that I know, something that they struggle with is finding someone who can accept how much they work, like how little time they actually have to invest in the relationship.
Yeah.
Was that something that you guys went through?
Honestly, I think what makes our relationships look easy is that Savannah does everything with me.
Okay.
Like, I convinced her to drop everything she was doing to just be my helper, right? Like to build with me, to do everything with me. And so it's never been like, oh, we don't have time for this. Now we've had like some friction with like setting aside time to make more special moments, because we spent so much time together. But how do we set aside time for quality time, right? We spend all the time together, but setting aside quality time is what fuels a relationship. Because for me, I was like, but I'm seeing, like, we're hanging out all day together. What do you mean, like, you want quality time? Like, this is quality time. Like, I see you, you see me, we're working together. I'm having the time of my life. And she's like, no, like, let's go to the movies, let's have a date night. I'm like, all right. So we started building that into kind of our schedule and everything, and just making it work. And like I said, it's easy because we do everything together. Some people get annoyed at the fact that when they see me, they see Savannah, and I'm like, hey, I get used to it.
Something that actually, we might have spoken about this before. But an experience that we have in common is actually that we're both West African and we're in America. You were born in
I was actually born in Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast. Yeah. Okay, but your parents are
Ghanaian and Togolese.
And Togolese.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about the collaboration aspect in America amongst Black entrepreneurs? Because something that I've noticed, and I was speaking with the husband of one of the founders we work with. He works in private equity. And he also has the same experience working in private equity, trying to connect with other Black individuals in private equity. But I've realized, like, there are Asian entrepreneurs that I know. They all work together. They all collaborate together. There are Indian entrepreneurs that I know. They all work together. They all collaborate with each other. So many different ethnicities. They all work together. They all collaborate together. But I don't see that much in the Black community here in America, and I've been trying to think about why. Like, what's your experience with working with other Black individuals here in America?
Also, I would say that in general, just as a group, I think that trusting each other can be a little hard at times.
Why?
Dependability, right? Like being dependable and like being able to be like, this person has my back to the T. And I feel like because of our situation where everyone's kind of like grinding, hustling, trying to get out the mud, there's like this sometimes it's an effect of paranoia. I feel like a lot of us, because we're the first people in our families to leave, to get out the hood or to get out from our situation. There's a sense of paranoia where it's like, like I met people that look like you, but they haven't always been on the same wave. So when you see someone who's like-minded, it's like, how like-minded are we? Should I completely trust you? Can I depend on you 100%? And in my experience, it's been tough just because you don't find a lot of Black people our age or like in our demographic that are doing the things that we're doing seriously at the pace that we want to go at. A lot of them, I mean, I see tons of successful Black people in the professional world. I would say the temperature in the professional world is different from the temperature in the entrepreneurial and like private equity, like the building side of things. And so I would say, yeah, it's more of a side effect of paranoia, you know, where it's like, hey, we're the first people to make it in our families. And so being able to depend on somebody else is kind of like or like to trust someone else and to partner and to build with someone. It's kind of like it's lots of hesitation, which show up in ways of like, you know, just like bad habits in general. Like I'm somebody who, believe it or not, like I'm very particular with how I like things done. I like things done in a manner of like punctuality. Like you say you're going to deliver this, like you better deliver this. And I'm going to hold you accountable. And, you know, I would say people in general suffer from, but some people just don't like being held accountable. And me being someone who's confrontational as well, they sometimes might take that confrontation as like, I'm fighting them, you know, I'm beefing with them, but you know, I want to win, right? I'm a winner. And so being a winner means that I have to make sure that I'm surrounded by winners. And so I'm trying to hold everyone to that level of accountability. And for some people, I mean, they take it like personally, like, nah, you can't tell me what to do. Like, you know, like blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's okay. I mean,
but don't you have that same experience with other people? So for example, if you're a Black entrepreneur, you also have those same experiences with someone who's Asian, who's white, who's Indian, all different ethnicities.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
why is there the lack of collaboration?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm trying to verbalize it better, but I don't know. I feel like I use the term paranoia repetitively because the Black people that I've met, it's like everyone's siloed and they're like, nah, like I'm gonna make it out and then I'll help you. It's like it's more of like I'll help you when I get there versus like helping me the cost of helping me today. They're not willing to pay today. They'd rather get to their destination first and then help. As where I think in some cultures, it's more like, hey, let's work together now and then we'll all get to the end together.
Yeah.
I think that's
and actually working together now helps you get to the end much faster.
But the thing is that helping each other now comes at a cost. I may not be able to move as fast as I want to move. Okay. I may have to spend a little bit more because I got to look out for you. I may have to, you know, tap into my resources to support you, which because of paranoia, it's like, nah. It's like an internal, no, I don't have enough to share yet. I don't have enough to share yet. When I get more, then I'll come back and help you, right? But I would say that growing up here in America and then going back home, like it's so much easier for people to make sacrifices, which I guess it's because maybe the village idea of like people working together culturally and building together. It's okay. Like, I mean, I went and stayed in Ghana for 2 years, right? In between 2017 and 2019. And one of the things that I observed is that like somebody's eating, they'll invite you, hey, would you like to eat? Like, would you like to eat my food with me? Like, okay, well, I don't have that much, but let's share, sit down, let's eat. Like, that's the culture. right? Where here, in like Black culture, I'm not sure that that's like it's not. You might find it in some families, but it's not incredibly common for sharing the little that you have to be like, I guess, ingrained. When I say ingrained, I mean like back home in Ghana, it's almost like disrespectful if you don't ask me to eat with you, right? That doesn't exist here, and that's, I mean, there's a whole history as to why we are where we are here in America, and there's pros and cons to both sides, because the same strength that, you know, Africans back home have in being so generous is the same reason why they oftentimes get screwed over and things happen. I'll tell you that.
And why the country is in huge poverty. Not the country, the entire continent is in huge poverty right now.
Exactly. I mean, it saddens me how slowly things develop in Africa because of the fact that we'll give to anyone.
Yes.
But because everyone knows that we'll give, the sharks that are there will take and not give you anything back.
And most of the time, the sharks are foreign sharks. For example, a lot of Chinese investors right now in West Africa purchasing everything.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not. I mean that was incredibly prevalent in especially Ghana and Togo, and just the West Coast as well, where you'll go to a certain village and there's a Chinese person there who speaks the local dialect better than me.
Yeah.
You know, who have factories, and it's something that I fear that, you know, soon Africa may be an artificial economy where we live in it, we operate, we work in it, but we don't have any equity in it. And so
it's like that now.
And that's
like the French own a lot of countries in Africa, all the resources, the Chinese are coming in. I feel like it's like that now.
I mean, it's like that for the most part. The shocking aspect was I thought that would only be in the cities, the larger developments, but it's like, no, like, your village, somebody's trying to buy your village right now. And so, you know, when we went to Ghana, we tried our best to get involved in just building in the entrepreneurial side. Man, it is rough. It is really, really, really rough. I have a friend of mine who's a very close friend. He works in the government. Matter of fact, he works very high up in the government. Like, he's an official, and he just resigned, you know, from his position because he thought he could come in there and be impactful. And he's from a different country, but he's dual citizen. But he decided, you know what, he's going to move everything and go back home to help build the country. Got into politics. After about a couple of years, he's like, honestly, I can't. And I'm very disappointed to say that. It's just, it's very expensive. It's a very expensive game to play. If you're going there to do business, you have to have money to lose. Like, unfortunately, you have to pay people to do the job you're paying them to do. That's the best way I can explain it. It's like giving you what you're owed isn't enough. It's like I have to further incentivize you to actually make you do what I've already paid you to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's, like I said, there's pros and cons to a generous culture. You know, being generous without being able to be wise and have discernment comes at a very great cost. Where here, you know, the history of Black America, I mean, we've come so far from, you know, slavery, segregation, and all this stuff, and there's so much trauma in the communities today, and everyone's trying to claw their way out. You know, it's like everyone's trying to claw their way out, but because of the things that have happened, you know, it's hard for people to trust before they arrive at their destination. You know, but once they get to the destination, then it's like, okay, let me go help the people that, you know, I met on the way. But
by then it's too late because you're already so far up that even engaging with those people now, it doesn't really benefit you that much, you know?
Yeah, and then that's when and I feel like that's when you then are, you have to then network with the people that are at the top.
Yes.
Or the people that are your destination, and that's where they don't really look like us a lot of the times.
Because you went alone.
Exactly, exactly. But I absolutely respect the cultures here in the U.S. who, I mean, like, I admire the Indian community so much. Like, I admire their ability. I mean, number one, even like the most important thing of like the multicultural, I mean, not the multi-generational living situation. I know so many people who live with their grandparents.
Yes.
What does that do? That gives the parents an opportunity to go out there, hustle, make as much money as possible. They have parents at home that are helping their children. And then like, there's a ton of collaboration, a ton of like, I got your bag, you got my bag. And I'm sure within those communities, they have their own, you know, conflicts and everything. But from the outside looking in, I find it to be quite admirable. Any kind of collaboration is admirable because, you know, there's a saying, if you want to go far, you know, go with someone. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. So, you know, I respect it.
Do you know what I actually blame for West Africa? This idea of like sacrifice and wanting to give. You know what I blame that on?
What's that?
It's going to sound very controversial, but I blame it on Christianity.
I definitely see
The culture is hyper Christian, where maybe you even heard this from, you know, people in your surroundings or your family members. When they need to do something or something goes wrong, it's like, oh, leave it up to God or put this on God or let's pray about this. Instead of taking action. And like the main theme in Christianity is, you know, Jesus sacrificing himself for the sins of the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has been deeply ingrained in our culture where people now feel like sacrifices is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, if I have little, if I give this little to someone else, it's a noble thing. But I don't think that's a noble thing at all.
I actually agree with you. I think that it's like you have to be greedy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean, with my parents made a lot of sacrifices to help. I mean, I come from a very big family. Like my dad is one of 7 siblings. My mom is one of 9. And so tons of sacrifices, tons of helping out, tons of overextending ourselves, tons of sharing the very little that we had. And each and every single time my parents were burnt. And growing up and witnessing this, I was like, you know, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I don't have it, I don't have it. Like I will never take from my family to give to someone if I don't have it. I believe in once I have enough or overflow, then I'm willing to help, right? To help those that are in need. It sounds controversial. It sounds like I'm contradicting myself because I just said that here in the Black, we don't collaborate early on. Collaboration and building with someone who's like-minded is not the same as giving handouts to people who need help when you're on the way up. You know, so 100%, it stunts growth, right? When the very little you have, you can't be because as a Christian, I believe heavily in stewardship. Right, stewarding meaning being able to manage what you have. Right, imagine like the Bible talks about how like, okay, it's important to be a good steward. I see it as everything that I have today, God gave me to be a good steward, to manage. So imagine if I gave you some money as a manager, private equity. I said, look, Joel, I have $1 million for you to manage here, and I want you to grow this. The more, you know. Being a good manager means growing the money, like growing the resources that I've given you. And I give you those resources, and then you just begin dishing it out, and then now you have nothing. And then I come like, hey, Joel, can you give me a report on the $1 million I gave you to manage? And you're like, well, I gave it to this guy, I gave it to this guy called me and asked me for this, and so I've got nothing for you. It's like, that sounds...
You didn't do a very good job managing it.
Yeah, you didn't do a really good job managing it. So I think understanding that, and knowing that, look, if you don't have it, you don't have it. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. And, you know, I know some people feel they struggle with saying no to their loved ones, especially when their loved ones feel indebted to what they have, or they feel entitled to what they have. But, I mean, it's management, right? You wouldn't give away when you go to work and you're working for your boss. For those that are working for people, like, let's say I work in a store, I can't be like, oh, well, somebody came in today and they said they were hungry and I just gave free food, I gave this away. No, I'm a manager. My job is to grow what I've been given. So I can't stunt my growth by trying to give things away that I've been given to manage.
Yeah. Tell me about NWorks, the supplement company you guys founded.
NWorks. Okay.
Why did you find it? Like, what was the story behind NWorks? Like, what was the specific problem you guys were looking to solve?
So here's the thing. NWorks was birthed out of this rampage that I went on determined to like, I'm in the boring business space, and I thought I could get into the boring business space and make it a fun space. And after about a year of being at HBS running it, I was like, my role is the chief revenue officer, so I'm doing business development and, you know, helping scale the company. But man, it's fucking boring. But I hope I can cuss. But it's boring. And so I was like, I just sat down one day and I discovered Replite. Replite is this platform that allows me to vibe code without actually being a developer myself. And I built like 7 concepts of businesses, like MVPs ready to sell, ranging from an acquisitions tool for buying small businesses, a vendor management tool for property managers, and some other stuff. So the first 6 were all tech, SaaS oriented, but I did not feel very confident that I had enough edge. I had enough, like, there's a difference between having a product that's a painkiller versus a product that's a vitamin. Like, I want to build painkillers. And there was none of those were painkiller ideas. Then I started just looking at, I take fiber right now. Like, before I started in Works, I was taking fiber. And like, one day I was just looking at the bottom, I'm like, fiber. So I started I'm like, okay, why am I paying this much for this? Like, I'm just kind of like trying to figure it out. It was very random. But then I'm like, fiber, and I'm like, okay, supplements. Like, at first I was like, what if I just empty these supplements into like another bottle and sold them? that was my first idea. That was my first time. I'm like, because like, this is such an ugly bottle. It was almost like I was like just hating on the company whose supplement I was taking. And I was like, let me just go in this rabbit hole. So I started digging, and I realized, okay, like, fiber is, I discovered a huge market gap where in the supplement market, everyone's selling you protein, creatine, this, that, but 9 out of 10 Americans are fiber deficient. And then I'm like, okay, well, how come I've never seen an ad for fiber? How come I've never seen like any kind of like sexy brand for fiber? And, you know, as I continued to dig more and more, I started discovering the numbers in terms of like so many grandfather companies that Metamucil who've been around for years and years. And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm pretty good at branding. I'm pretty sure that I can design a brand that's better than this. And what I'll do is that I'll build a website and I'll try and pre-sell it. And if I can like get some interest, I'll actually go and execute it.
So you actually started the website and started selling products without even having the product.
No, I did pre-orders. Like, it was coming soon. Pre-orders. I did a wait list just to see if people would sign up. And so I built it on Replite within like 6 hours, built the website, everything, and started like, actually went and paid a Facebook ads consultant who taught me Facebook ads. And for a long time, I sucked at paid advertising. I did not know how to do it. Nobody wanted to teach me because everyone was gatekeeping. Except you.
I didn't gatekeep.
Joel did not gatekeep. He was one of the first people that was like, look, I'll teach you exactly what we do. So I appreciate you a lot for that, brother. So I decided to do that and built out the website, pre-orders. I could see that we were getting lots of visitors based on what I was pushing. We got a few people who expressed interest, and just a little bit of traction that we got in like 24, 48 hours of just interest. Very few pre-orders and stuff, but more so just like interest and visitors, engaged clicks and stuff like that. That's all I needed. And so I went further down the rabbit hole, figured out, okay, like I knew the 2 ingredients that I wanted to use already before I even built the website. When I said the website was up, I mean, I knew the ingredients. I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to use already proven organic ingredients. And so I literally went on Amazon and looked at the top selling fiber supplements, and they included psyllium husk and chia seed. And so I knew those are the only two ingredients I'm going to use. And so I have one bottle that's psyllium husk, pure psyllium husk, and the other one that is chia seed and psyllium husk. It's like a 66 to 33% ratio. And I tell Savannah about it. I'm like, hey, we're building this brand. Like, this is what we're going to do. And she's like, okay, let's do it.
Nice.
And so immediately we started learning how to make capsules. I mean, we're buying the capsules, separating them, putting them in a tray, filling them, snapping them. I find a label making company. I design my own labels, send it to them, the whole entire process. And I started giving it to my family and friends. Like, I just started giving them out. And it was working for everyone. Like, I was taking it myself and it was working because, once again, it was already proven. I'm not doing anything new here. I'm just betting that I can advertise it and market better than the existing companies that are out there. And so...
Wait, are these with the supplements you gave to your family and friends, are they the product from the other companies that you repackaged, or are they products that you guys already started making?
No, this was stuff we were making. Like,
okay.
So we didn't actually give anybody anything that was repackaged. We were making them from scratch with like materials that we had bought online, like in bulk, and just literally just making it. Because I mean, I didn't feel like it made sense to repackage it if I could just, you know, get it and just put it in the capsule myself. And I felt like ours was a little more potent. It works a little better, and the capsule is a little larger, so you have to take a little less. So giving it out to everyone gave us great feedback. Everyone loved it. And I was like, awesome. So we started looking for influencers to work with. And we found a doctor. Actually, we found this lady who was an influencer. She had like 250,000 followers or something like that, but the engagement rate wasn't that great. But at the time, we were just looking for influencers. So we sent her a bottle, and she made a video about it. And her best friend commented in the comment section like, hey, you know, I'm a doctor and I recommend fiber to all my patients. I love it. And I was like, okay, well, if you love it, then let's collab ourselves. Like, so we send her our supplement. She takes it. She loves it. She's like, let's do a video. We come up with a deal and we pay her for the video. And she posts an organic post, and it goes crazy. And okay, to put it in perspective, I know videos go far more viral than this, but it got like 60,000 views, but 2,300 comments of people saying that they want it. And so with that, we overnight went from like maybe 15 customers at the time to like 2,200 customers within a span of a week. So we rode that wave until the organic sales started dipping. And then I took her video and I put it into Facebook ads and absolutely, you know, spent about like $500 a day on ads. And our ROAS was looking at like 4 for those ads. And so we then pushed on to 3,000 customers.
You know, I have to pause there because that's really incredible. For your first time running ads, you're at 4x ROAS.
Yeah.
Like 4x, 5x, that's like you're a pro level advertiser.
Hey, I can't sit here and tell you, I'm some some media buying genius. Honestly, it's a combination. Like what the consultant taught me, I then went on YouTube and found a guy who spends like millions on paid advertisement, and he broke down like the details to like the new like now the algorithm level of things. Yeah. Right. So the consultant taught me how to structure ads, how to actually what this means, what that means, how to run an ad, but how to feed the algorithm what they want is something I learned on YouTube.
Like the types of creatives to use.
Exactly. The aspect ratios that because things have been changing so much with AI being such an important aspect of the algorithm. So feeding it that, structuring my ads that way was, I think, the key to having such a successful ad campaign. And we milked that for 2 months. And within the first 3 months of us launching that campaign with this lady, we made like 85, 90 grand with over 3,000 customers. And with that being said, we then had to then deliver it to all these customers. So there's that story, because Now,
How little sleep did you guys get?
we were going to sleep at like 9 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
And I had to be up at like 10, be at the office for HBS, or maybe a little later. But the anxiety that we were feeling because we made all this money, the payments were already deposited in our accounts, like we just had to deliver. But I mean, the crazy stories from a logistical standpoint, things that we were ordering before that had no problem getting to our apartment, all of a sudden would just not show up, would be delayed. I mean, absolute chaos. And we went from like a tray of 400 capsules at a time to then getting a second tray of 400 at a time, where me and Savannah would, work together, 400. And then we were like, no, it's 400 is not fast enough. So we got one single 800 tray that we worked on together, just different steps. And we were able to produce, I think, like 6 trays an hour of 800. And so that allowed us to be able to be at a good pace. But I mean, making the capsules wasn't really the hardest part. It's the fact that we made the packaging that we put the bottles in. When I say that we made the packaging, we were buying flat boxes that we had to then open up, tape, pad, because we made the mistake of starting off with glass bottles. And so we would, line it up with bubble wrap, put the bottle in there, cover it, tape it, seal it, and then apply the labels. But before that, we're also applying the labels on the bottle. And so I'm by hand applying it, and I'm crazy about details. So it has to be perfect on each bottle. That whole entire process was extensive, but the part that killed us was the fact that we were buying closed capsules. So we had to unsnap every single capsule. So my family, I actually kidnapped my sister for the whole summer and paid her with food. And I was like, look, I'll feed you. You help me build this. I got you. So she would sleep on our couch, help us with both my youngest sister and my brother. He would get off work at 10 and come to my house, stay the night, help us with every single aspect. My parents would come over to the house and help us with snapping capsules, because once we made the capsules on the tray, we didn't know how to snap the capsules shut. So then there was a whole process of manually, one by one, snapping thousands and thousands and thousands, tens and thousands of capsules before we would then bottle them. So completely flawed system, but with time and repetition, we started finding shortcuts, and eventually we came across unsnapped capsules. Then we came across a tray that would help us snap the capsules together before we put them on into the bottles and everything. And it was an incredible learning process. But within 30 days, speed, right? Speed. From the concept to execution to delivering to our customers, this was all in a span of like 30 days. From the time we started the idea to when we started the campaign and the floodgates opened. And so throughout that process of speed, we learned so much so fast. Then we decided, you know what, we've made enough capital where we can buy capsules, pre-made capsules from a manufacturer. I called a buddy of mine who's in e-commerce down in South Florida. He introduced me to some people, and man, that was another clusterfuck, because now we depended on someone else to deliver high quality products to us. And the first couple deliveries, they completely dropped the ball, like terrible quality, but it was too late. We already gave them our money. And so they made some changes. The quality got better, but then for some reason, UPS just started stealing our product, like our boxes. Like we would order 40,000 capsules and only 10 would arrive, and UPS would be like, "Sorry, we lost your package." So the timing of it was just it was just so many times where I was frustrated, so many times where I was angry, so many times where like I would tell Savannah, "Man, fuck these customers, we're gonna give them their money back," and she'd be like, "No." Times where she'd be like, "Fuck the customer," I'm like, "No," but it was constantly having her alongside with me, and just, being up all day, all night, making capsules, delivering, making drops at the UPS delivery center early in the morning, all this while trying to juggle HBS at the same time. It was a crazy adventure, but we had a great support system around us with my family being there, whatever we need, however much time we needed from them. And at the end, where we finally delivered to all of our customers, we decided to give some shares to our parents and to our siblings that helped us with the whole entire process, because we could not have done it without them. But now, the beautiful news is that our machine is here that we ordered. We brought in a partner who is actually a successful e-commerce founder himself. He actually sold his company, and he's been working with us. He flew to China and found a manufacturing machine for us that makes, we were making like 5, 6, maybe 7,000 capsules an hour if we were really, really on top of stuff. This machine makes about 20 to 50,000 capsules an hour. And so now we're kind of ready to open up the floodgates again, go back to running. I've turned off all the ads just to get my life back together for the last month or so, or 2 months or so. And so once we get the machine out the port, we found a lab space in Montgomery County where we can install the machine, run it and everything, a great incubator space. And so we plan on taking full advantage of that. And I'm hoping that we can have a 6-figure Q4.
Over 100K.
I'm talking like, I'm thinking like for all of Q4, like 500K. That's
really okay.
I want to be.
Well, I mean, you guys were doing. You said 80K.
80K.
The past 2 months, right?
So 80K for the one campaign that we did, and that was for 2 months. So, and that was us struggling and really like being bottlenecked on the manufacturing side, but with the ability of making that kind of volume. When we made the 80K, I was like, no more influencers. We're not like, I was very much stunting the growth because we didn't have manufacturing completely figured out.
Able to deliver.
So it was one influencer, and I was like, no more. I don't want any more influencers. Like, I'm like, imagine if we were aggressive with, going after more influencers. And now with AI, there's so many different ways that you can leverage it with AI influencers and all this stuff, which I think I've cracked the code on.
You showed me a few of those platforms, yeah.
I have a whole army that I'm ready to deploy to really make a huge push with Black Friday, all these sales holidays coming up, things like Thanksgiving, Christmas, all this stuff. So I'm very, very, very excited.
When I first met you, you were doing other ventures, working under other people. And I remember I told you, I said, dude, you can 100% have your own venture. Like, you have the personality, the courage, like you have everything.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you told me you had a couple of ventures in the past that didn't really work out. And then you met Savannah. And I think we hung out like maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
You said that either it's because of Savannah, you've really been able to have all of the current success, or something along those lines.
I mean, I have no other way to say it. I mean, obviously God's given me a great gift, but Savannah, like, I'll say it right now. I mean, my life has been exponentially better since I met Savannah. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know how that is, but all I know is that, like, when I say everything, I mean like my ventures all of a sudden are like super successful. I don't know if it's the timing of just the number of failures that I've had prior to that. I mean, I have like hard drives of every single venture. I was launching like 3-4 ventures a year, just trying to figure out what works, constantly being on different teams, building, failing, but learning a lot throughout the process. I felt so much that I was like, look, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna go do some consulting, because I think I failed enough to help other people not fail.
Yeah.
And so I decided to leverage that, and I charged like $200 an hour, and I would help other people build their businesses based on the wisdom that I've obtained from just being in an operator seat, building and failing. And so helping them avoid those same pitfalls. And I was doing great there, and I loved consulting because I was solving a different problem every single day. And the way that my mind works, if I'm doing the same thing for too long, it kind of starts to bother me. And so it was fun until it wasn't. It got to a point where, like, I started to realize that if I didn't work, I wasn't going to eat. Meaning, like, I had to work in order to get paid, and it was like this whole constant exchange. And I was working. The problem shifted from not having diverse enough problems to solve to now having a whole bunch of problems to solve, but not problems that I cared about. And so now I was like begrudgingly, doing it for somebody else. And I was like, when I met you and I told you I was doing it and you pointed out, I was like, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I know I can, but also like I'm kind of recovering a little bit and learning, because as I'm building other people's ventures, I'm learning from them as well, because they are successful ventures. They're just trying to grow and continue to build. So I'm like, okay, when I get in there, I see what they're doing. I'm filling in the gaps where I can, but observing everything and then taking it to then build a new venture was the game plan. And so going back to your point, I 100% like believe that by having a helper by my side, it made everything easier, because I didn't have to share, I didn't have to take the load by myself. I could distribute it. And just things in my life where I had to, it's like delegating, right? The same way for building, being able to have someone you can delegate to makes it easier for you to build. That's what I found. And so everything that I've touched ever since then has been outstanding. It's been gold. And this venture has been the prime example of that. Obviously, joining HBS, I'm buying into a company that's been around since 2018, roughly 6 years, and I'm helping them with something that they've already built. It's not my vision, but it's something that for me is a stable, long-term investment from a private equity perspective. But in terms of getting rich quick, I know that sounds crazy, getting rich quick, but I believe that it's important that you get rich quick. Yesterday's dollar is not the same as today's dollar. Yeah. Your family, your loved ones are here. God knows when, they'll be, their time will be up. And so I would hate to get rich slowly just to be to reach where I want to go. And the people that I'm there, I want to enjoy it with, aren't there. No longer around. And so speed is so important. And I finally learned how to build quickly. I feel like that's the latest superpower that I've obtained, is like, as a builder, how to build quickly, how to fail fast, how to quickly assess if this is a winning product or a winning venture before you then go full throttle and scale it. So, yeah.
I love that. Brother, it's been a good conversation.
Absolutely.
And
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.